Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Um, First of all, we like to give all honor and praises to the supreme intelligence of the universe, the God of our forefathers, the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael, for allowing us to be here tonight on the Shabbat Erev. It's been a very rough week, and I'm very glad to have the Shabbat for a day of rest. Um, I'd like to give due respect to the Most High, the supreme intellect of the universe. Secondly, to my Ish, Nasi Yeshuvel, to Prince Sapor, the leader and teacher and founder of Shema Yisrael, and to all the elders and the members of Shema Yisrael and Shomrei. Shabbat Shalom to you all. We're going to start off by reading a couple. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to start off. We're always going to say the prayer, and then we're going to read a couple of Psalms and precepts. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Giving all praise to the supreme intellect of the universe, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one who all praise are due. We thank you for allowing us to be able to have a forum where we're able to express the views of our women. We thank you for all that you've done for us and appreciate Shema allowing us to be on this format. Thank you. Allow our words to be words of wisdom to guide, shield, and protect all of Israel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That was from the heart?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to read a couple of Psalms and precepts. First one being Psalm 92. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
A song for the Shabbat day. Thanks unto the Most High and to sing praises to the name of Elohim, O Exalted One, to relate your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness every night. Upon the 10 strings, upon the instrument, upon the psaltery, with singing accompanied by a harp. For you have gladdened me, O Most High, with your deeds, and at the works of your hands I sing glad song. How great are your deeds, O Most High, your thoughts are most profound. A boor cannot know, nor can a fool understand this. When the wicked bloom like grass, and all the doers of iniquity does flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But you remain exalted forever, O Most High. For see your enemies shall perish, all doers of iniquity shall be dispersed. You raise my pride like that of a wild ox. I was saturated with ever fresh oil. Mine eyes have seen my valiant foes. When those who would harm me rise up against me, my ears have heard. A righteous man will flourish like a date palm. He will grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. They will flourish, planted in the house of the Most High, in the courtyards of our King. They will still be fruitful in old age. They will be fresh and vigorous, to declare that Yah is upright, my rock, in whom there is no injustice. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Next, Psalms 125. I should know this by heart, but you know, the nerves is getting to me. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Those who trust in Yah are like Mount Zion that does not falter but abides forever. Jerusalem mountains surrounded, and the Most High surrounded his people from this time forever and forevermore. For the rod of wickedness shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, so that the righteous shall not stretch forth their hands into iniquity. Do good, O Most High, to those that be good, and to the upright in their hearts. But those who turn to their perverseness, the Most High will lead them with the workers of iniquity, but there shall be peace upon Yisrael. Hallelujah. Deuteronomy 6:4. Hallelujah. Hear, O Yisrael, Yah our King, the Most High is one. You shall love the Most High your King with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. These words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. You shall impress them into your sons and speak about them when sitting in your house and when going on the way, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as a sign on your hand and as a headband between your eyes, on the doorpost of your house and on your gate. And it shall be when the Most High your King brings them to the land that he swore to your forefathers, to Abraham, Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give you large and thriving cities that you did not build, houses full with every good thing which you did not fill, did not blow out, hew out, Saga, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Take care lest you forget the Most High, who took you out from Egypt, from the place of slavery. For the Most High your King, worship him, and then you may swear by his name. Do not follow after other gods, with the gods of the nations who surround you. For the Most High our King, from the gods of the nations who surround you. For the Most High your King is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Most High your King flare up against you and destroy you from the face of the earth. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, tonight we will be discussing polygyny. I decided to bring about this topic because although it's an old topic and we have a lot of families that do practice it, a lot of people don't understand the term that's used. A lot of people call it polygamy, which is not the proper term. Polygamy is the practice of marrying multiple spouses. So polygamy would be a man marrying multiple women and the woman marrying multiple men. But what we practice is polygyny, whereas the man has multiple wives and we only have one husband. If we was to have more than one husband, that would be definitely out of the question, unrighteous, and that would be called polyandry, I believe. So we practice polygyny, whereas our husband is Nasi Yashuvel, and he has two wives, first, and I being the second. And we decided to open up the forum to answer some questions that most of our Facebook friends have asked us so that we can get some type of clarity, because there's a lot of confusion going on and a lot of people may have questions that they may fear to ask, but we decided to share our life and answer some questions. So the first question is coming from, and I'm going to mention Marvette Buchanan, one of my good friends from junior high school. Her question is, what was your initial response going into the relationship and learning of his expectations of you and wanting a second wife? I guess I'll answer that. My initial response, I wasn't shocked because I know the stock that he came from, and not saying that it's a bad thing, but I know his Abba principal, he also practiced polygyny. So I knew that I was coming in as a second wife. And it wasn't a bad thing for me because I've practiced it before. And it wasn't done successfully. It wasn't done right. But my initial response, it wasn't a shocked one because I already knew what I was getting myself into. Marvette, you have a lot of questions. I'm going to try to run through them. The second question was, do all three of you sleep in the same bed, or is there a scheduled night for you and your sister wife? I can keep it clean by answering the question because it is we do observe the Sabbath. Some of you that are logged on do not observe the Sabbath, but we do. So we try to keep our conversations clean and solely based on the Bible. But initially, we did have one house. For several years, we lived in the same house where we shared a lot of things, and we did have scheduled nights where we did come together and made our own rules to have scheduled nights. So that went well because Roey's the type of person that doesn't really stress too much, and I would personally say that I've experienced that firsthand. And if you don't mind me sharing about your Abba. Okay. When her Abba passed, I didn't see the type of person that cried and, oh my God, this is happening, this is woe is me. Roey, her mindset on life is totally different. So some of you may say, well, oh my God, how does she share her husband? How does she come to grips of even sitting down and discussing with another woman to share her wife? a lot of things is not that serious to Ro. And I can honestly say that I'm blessed to have a sister wife like her because a lot of things is not taken to the extent of craziness because of her thinking. So I'm blessed. I am. Second question: how is communication between yourself, your sister wife, and the children? Do you both discipline each other's children? Yes. We whip their behind.
Oh,
Yes, we do.
all.
Yes, we do. We don't pick and choose and roll go beat your child behind because I'm not touching it or she. No, we'll beat each other. We'll not I wouldn't say beat, but we would chastise and scold each other's children. And we both have that relationship where she will call me and tell me, "Hey, I had to beat so and so," and I'll call her and say, "Hey, I had to pop so and so." So relationship. Another question: how do the children cope with this? Do they ever ask questions about being different from their peers at school? They cope very well. We really didn't have too much. That was actually the biggest hurdle for us to get over was the children adjusting to each other. It wasn't that much of an adjustment because a lot of our children are the same age.
Yes.
So it wasn't that much of an adjustment, but a different lifestyle. So my daughter did ask me, my oldest daughter, she did ask me um, about polygyny at when she was younger, but it wasn't something that she didn't like. She actually, liked it because of the children in her age group. You want to read the next question? Well, not that one. Oh, well, let me finish off the question. Um, you said, do they ever ask questions about being different from their peers in school? I would say yes and no. Initially, when we first got married and joined in a relationship, my but Roe's daughter, well, my daughter Nali, she did tell her teacher that she had two mothers, and the teacher looked at her like she was crazy. So it was something fun for them because I guess they had a better advantage, more gifts or whatever. I don't know, but they never felt out of place. And as of last year, our children are homeschooled, so they're home for the most part. But I don't, they don't project any type of emotions of feeling outcast. Did I say? You want to read the next question?
Do you and your sister wife do?
That one.
Oh, how do you and your sister wife get along? Are there ever jealous moments? If so, once. Well, we get along very well. Um, we're around each other. We literally, even though we're separate in two separate homes, we're actually literally 2 minutes walking distance from each other. So we're at each other's house all the time. The children share at it. Sometimes her children will be more over my house than out, and my children be more over her house. Um, um, Jealousy is a feeling that anyone may feel. Whether you're single, you're monogamous, polygynous. Um, Jealousy, they even in the Tanakh, the creators refers to as being jealous, and we know that's not in the same sense, but uh, so it's a natural thing. So at some point, yes, we do may feel jealous, and for the most part, we would sit down and talk about it or air it. We text each other. We also have a group that me, Atara, and I each have together, and we talk about stuff that we may not been able to talk about in face to face, but that also helps.
Okay. Next question. I think this is the last one for you, Marvette. Do you feel that your husband treats you both fairly, or is there favoritism between the two of you? Are there plans in place for additional wives? Initially, I did think that there was some favoritism because I dealt with some type of way, and I'm going to be honest about it. The fact that Roe and Nasi have been married for over 20 years is commendable. And it's unheard of in this way of life in any type of nationality. It's very rare you see a relationship lasts that long, and is to be highly looked upon. And um, I did think that he used to treat her better, and that's just out of my feelings. But then I understood that me and Ro are two different people, and he loves us differently. He loves us both the same, but he loves us differently because we're two different people. So
It's kind of like children. You love all your children, but you love some children they do certain things different, so you love that about them. And they even, you know, dress different, that you love that about them. It's just saying you love them all, but you love them different.
and to answer your last question, Marvette, are there plans in place for additional wives? Um, my husband is still young, and I would honestly say that yes, he is looking for another wife. Presently, I would say right now, 6:55 p.m. But he does speak about having more wives. Not that he's emailing application or, but look at Rohy like no. But we did have jokes that he is gonna have 7 wives. Well, um, but to answer that question, um, Macy, you want to read her question?
Who was there first? I was married to him for approximately 15 years before him and Atara were married. But we've all pretty much were in the Israelite community and in New York. We were all born in New York, so we either known each other or known of each other since we were in the eyes of
That's an old thing.
yeah.
Okay, second question. Did you or she know going in that this would be something that would occur? Yes. Were any
No.
you know
Originally,
you knew when you called me.
no, I mean before. I thought you meant like in the beginning of the relationship with me and him. I did not know that.
So you didn't know that Nancy was into multiple women.
No, he told me no.
Oh, okay.
And then later we got to the meat of it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
somebody's in trouble.
Yeah. No, I mean it's fine now. We did come to that hurdle and we crossed over it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so next question. Were any of you apprehensive at first? And if so, how did you buy into doing it? I wasn't apprehensive because I kind of grew up with my Abba having 4 wives at the same time. So it was a lifestyle that I was around, and I grew up about it. So
And I also was raised with 2 mothers until my father passed. So it was something that I was very familiar with, and I actually seen a successful polygynous relationship. So I was not saying that I was like that was what I wanted, but after talking and and meeting Atara, that's what made it easier for me to do it.
me and her.
Huh?
I'm right here.
That's all. You still Atara, right?
But you gotta say her.
Oh, okay. Her.
Okay. Were any of you apprehensive? Okay, I read that question already. Do you? Okay. Do your children question you about it? My daughter used to. She's 18 now, I think.
Yeah.
She used to ask me if I was jealous or did I feel any type of jealousy. So she did question me about it. She didn't lag her on it, on the questioning, but I did explain to her that there is some jealousy, um, because that's something natural, but you learn to overcome it by becoming close to your sister wife. I definitely think that if any of you out there are in a polygynous relationship, try to overcome that jealousy by not becoming distant with your sister wife, but getting to know her and building a relationship with her, because you're not only in a relationship with your husband, but in a relationship with your sister wife as well. And that's how I got over
Not that type of relationship, but
a sisterhood relationship. Yeah.
yeah, clear
So
that up.
that's how, and I'm not gonna hide the fact that I didn't feel any type of jealousy. I did, but getting to know Roe and the type of person that she is, I kind of overcame that. Do you all live together? We did. For the first 5 years, we did. We had, I think, a 4-bedroom house, 4 to 5 bedroom house. We all lived together for some years, and it gave me some grades. I did learn to, I did learn to know the children, and we all got to know each other. It was a different experience, and I kind of appreciated that because I learned to um know Rowie more, know the kids more, and they kind of gel together. Now they're inseparable. This is like,
Yes, like I said, half of the time, her children over here, her children over there. I don't even know where my children are sometimes.
how do you treat each other's children compared to the way you treat your own? I think we kind of answered that the last question. We do treat each other. Does he show affection to each other or both of you when the other is present? You want to answer that?
Yes, we don't. It's not like, oh, don't show affection in front of me. We go out together. We have we go out together, and it's not like a limitation. We're not getting buck wild in front of each other, but that is his wife as well as me.
Okay, Lena, we have your question up next. How do you two settle issues? Honestly speaking, me and Ro rarely have issues. We kind of have more issues with our each. And sometimes he feels that we gang up on him. But how do we settle our issues? If there are issues, we have most of the time now we call a meeting now, or we'll have a little group chat, or we'll have our just us meeting, and we have meetings, and we'll sit there and most of the time listen to Nasi chew us out, or we'll just sit there and we're able to express our feelings and
Or
express.
chew him out sometimes.
Yeah, we have our meetings. It's very rare that Nasi, for the most part, likes to go to bed upset. He is, and I would say that he is probably the most. Uh, would probably like to settle our issues without before going to bed. So kudos to you, Nasi. Do you involve the man and let him set a meeting? Yes. How did you and your sister wife have your initial conversation?
Well, originally, um, Atara and Nasi um, actually reconnected after years of not hearing or speaking to each other. Um, Not in any type of way, just a informal. And then speaking, I believe he mentioned to her that he was married at the time, because he is very honest about that. Um, and so then he made it a point that we should talk, because before anything ever occurred with him and Atara. So we talked, and
Question, Lena. Yeah, she was very direct with her questions, very harsh.
I wasn't harsh, just
What
direct.
are you gonna bring to my family? What can you bring for me? How can you benefit us? Like, she was straightforward. Yes, she was.
I did that for my mother.
And I did not have any questions for her. I was like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. What was the hardest thing for you to adjust to? Um, hmm.
I,
Moving.
oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Moving from New York. Uh, I think that was the hardest thing because my mother, we have a big family, and like I said before, my Abba had three, four wives, so that wasn't something new to me. Neither having a lot of children in the house, it was just moving from city life to country life, and also living in one house with another woman. That was one of the hardest things to adjust to.
I think mine was just the time, trying to share time, being that we had been together so long. It was always like us, like Bonnie and Clyde. So it was kind of weird. Or not weird, but different to have that. Okay, well, she needs her time too. And then, so that was kind of different. I guess that was part, the biggest hurdle for me.
That's a question.
Oh, what does Roe view as the pluses for polygyny? Um, I always have somebody I can talk to, good, bad, or indifferent. Like Atara said, Nasi said that we gang up on him. So um, if we feel like something ain't right, we can talk to each other. I don't have to worry about my business because it's her husband as well. Um, um, as far as the children, they don't have. If they, I also feel like if they can't speak to her about something, they can speak to me. So they also have that added support, whether it's financially, emotionally, spiritually. So I think it's a plus for the children as well. I think that's my take.
Next question. What advice does Rowie have and you for those interested in polygyny? I would say don't jump into it because of your husband. Don't jump into it because he said this is what he wants and you feel this is your way of keeping your husband happy. Do it because you know it's right. Do it because you feel it's right. I believe that you both have to be in it together, and polygyny is definitely not for everyone. It's a spiritual and a mental challenge for a lot of people, and if you're not fit for the fight, you'll definitely crash and burn. A lot that you have to take into consideration. You have not only taken into a person physically, and you taking on their characteristic, their personality, their spiritual journey, their children, or whatever they brought into that relationship. So you have to take into consideration that you're adding someone into an already established home. So that's a lot for some people, and some people can't handle it. Some people just like it for egotistical reasons, and that's definitely not the way to go. Just because the creator says that it's okay, not that it's a law, because a lot of men think that it's a law that I can have more than one wife, so I'm gonna go sleep with Mary Jane and Lou and Louie, or what do I name?
No.
Yeah, not Lou.
Not Lou. Not Lou.
But
Not the Lou.
Luann?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. God said I can do it, so I'm gonna go out to the club and I'm gonna, give her some bands and I'm gonna take her home and I'm gonna sleep with her because I can do that. No, she has to be your wife, and it's something that you have to discuss that with your wife. It's definitely nothing that you should go ahead and do off the whim just because you feel you can do so.
I think that it's important that the women speak to each other and form a relationship, and everyone form a relationship. Like before Atara actually got in a relationship, we had a group chat. We talked, we asked questions, we talked, we did scenarios. It was kind of like an interviewing process and also a bonding process. So when she did actually get married, it was like we knew what we were getting into. It wasn't like at that point we knew who we were adding to our relationship. So I think that it's important that everyone has a feel for speaking to that person and knowing that person.
Suzette, up to your questions. Most of your questions are repetitive, so I'm going to skip down to the last two. Are you truly happy with your polygyny lifestyle? I am. I'm definitely not forced in this lifestyle. I don't know if Chloe wants to answer that question as well.
I am happy. I am. I enjoy it. Um, Sometimes I didn't realize how much we have, how much burden we have on us, and just being able to share that.
Them kids. Last question for you, Suzette. Are your children expected to also practice polygyny? Yeah, I wouldn't force it on her unless she would want to, unless any of my daughters or sons would want to. Um, Let me see. Do we have any more questions? Um, I'm reading your comment, Candace Blue. You said you tried it and was not successful. That could probably be for the most part that um, it wasn't done properly. A lot of men just jump in both feet without even considering the first wife. So as I stated before, that it is suggested that the first wife is involved in the selection of the wives, um, the selection of the wives. I don't see any more questions, and I don't want to sound redundant, but there's a lot of issues going on in the nation of Israel about men sleeping around um, because they feel that they can do so. And my suggestion to you is be careful because it's going to bite you in the butt in the end. It's going to come back to haunt your children. It's definitely not good spiritually because it's draining, physically draining, spiritually draining, mentally draining, and at the wrong way. You're gonna have children all over the place, baby mama drama. Two wives could be in the same room and they don't speak to each other. I see a lot of that, and it's sad. If we're supposed to be the light to the nation, and you're practicing polygyny, but you have two wives that don't speak to each other, how are you a light? Example that it just doesn't make sense. I don't see that. I don't see how there can be a lot of relationships and practicing polygyny, but the wives don't speak.
I couldn't imagine that. That won't work for me.
Yeah, me either. And if you are in that situation, I mean, upfront out, you need to sit down and fix it, or get rid of one, both, or just don't have a wife. Like if you're man enough to say I can sleep with two women, but you can't have the two women speak to each other, or you can't sit down and be man enough to say, well, hey, let's fix our situation, then you don't need to be in polygyny. You're not in it for a status quo. You're in it to, from my understanding, to build a nation, and to shed light to people, to give people a better understanding of our way of life, not just because of your egotistical um, status quo. Um, you have anything else to say? It was short and sweet. I don't know if anyone else have any questions. Let me check the Facebook right quick before we end the forum. But I'd like to say initially, was not, I am not a poster child for for polygyny because it's tough. It's tough. It's a lot to deal with, and it's a lot to consider. So I would like to say that I am blessed because my husband's the type of person that if there's an issue, he likes to fix it. He's definitely um, a psychologist where he likes to get into your brain and ask you why you've done this, and if you don't understand why, then then you can't fix it. So I would say that's a good thing because we women, we like to hold on to things, and most of the time we act off emotions and we don't know how to most of the time fix our problems. So he is of helping us understand a lot of things when it comes to emotions. So, oh, I see Kalila. Hey, Kalila. Um, she asks, what if the wife does not like you?
You speaking of the first wife?
Probably.
I really don't think that will work unless he's doing something like a separate but equal. And every relationship is different. I that wasn't my goal. I didn't want my husband to be outside of my home and my children not. I'm not going to sit my children with if somebody doesn't like me or children. So it would have to be my husband would have to share time out of the home, and my children wouldn't be able to go, or we couldn't speak. I that wouldn't work for me. So I am blessed that my Ish is one of those people who he's always let someone know that he is married. He always he's not for division. It's all about inclusion, not exclusion. he's not going to go. It's not going to work if it's not going to work for all of us. So like I said, every situation is different, and some people are able to deal with that. But for me, that wouldn't have worked for me.
This notion that I'm not in a relationship with you, I'm in a relationship with the man, but no, that's not the case. You definitely, eventually, you have to have a relationship with the wife because you're gonna have children, and children are gonna be siblings, and you have to cross. You are in a relationship. Um, I have another sister who has a question. How does she ask it?
Oh, she may not be on.
Um,
Can you send the question?
can you send the question to me, Chief Yashar? Either you can post it on my Facebook. You're probably not my friends on Facebook, but text it to me and I'll be able to see it. We should have the kids here to have an intermission dance.
No. Not on the Shabbat. They get at the after the Shabbat.
They can have a Shabbat intermission dance.
But
okay, it's funny. I thought about this the other day. How would my life be without
religion?
Yeah.
That would be totally different. Wow.
Honestly, it would be tough. Because at times, if I'm not able to do stuff, I'll call Ro. Hey, Ro, can you do this for me? Can you do that? Can you do this? Stand on. So it would be kind of tough. Although I'm the type of person that likes to do things myself, and say, okay, I did this, and I don't need nobody's help. But at the end of the day, with 15 children, I need someone to help. So I'm waiting for the next question. Hold on. You just came in. How did Ro come to accept the sister wife after being with her husband from
a youth? I think that's the question.
From a young age, yeah.
Well, like I stated before, I was raised in this way, but the ironic thing was I used to always tell my Ima, I don't know how you do polygamy. I mean, if it works for you, you could do it. I thought that I would be in a polygynous relationship, and one of the books that I read was Patricia Dixon. It's called "What I Want from." What is it?
I want
my sister what I want for myself.
Something
to that effect. I'm sorry, just look up Patricia Dixon. And that was it. And then I had to understand the actual mental concept of a polygynous person. We are so taught in this society that's my man. And I had a older sister who I've known for years who said to me, he doesn't belong to you. He is, your husband, but he doesn't belong to you. And if he has a purpose bigger than what you're able to help him with, then why not help him achieve his purpose? If it is possible that somebody else can help him to reach it. And I had to process that. And then the fact, like I said before, because to be honest, Atara wasn't the first person that he introduced to me as a possible. But it was knowing her and meeting her and our spirits. And our spirits, I don't know, they worked out and they meshed so well that there was times, I'm like, nope, this is going to be your second wife. And he'd be like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, this is going to be, I know it. So I think it was a combination of all those factors. Was it an adjustment? Yes, it was. Was it jealousy? Of course. But just knowing that, like I said, that he's not mine. He was sitting here for a purpose, and my job is to help him reach it. I'm his help me. But if he needed somebody else to help him meet it, why not?
Kalala, Kalala, I love you. You just doing your thing, but we're not trying to be here all night. But I would love to answer the question. Kalala posted a question on Bathsheba Yisrael. Does your husband provide food, clothing, conjugal to you both? Yes, he does.
Yes.
Our husband or Ro husband works at least 20 hours a day sometimes. Um, and I commend him for that. I am at home with the 15 well, with 10 of the 15 children because I homeschool the younger ones and Rowie works, but he does provide for both of us. Um, is he a millionaire? No, but he makes sure he provides for both of us, and we don't lack for anything. Works. He's a very hard worker. So he has at least two or three jobs where we don't see him within a 24-hour period, and it's not a complaint to him because he knows that he has to provide for his family, and it's a joy to him because he would come home with gifts for the kids and the twins. We have twins of three, and they would say, "Ah, but you're the best. You better than Ema." He was like, "Ooh, am I? Ooh, go ahead, say it again, Naya." So it's a feel good for him and for us also to see that he's able to provide for all of us without any discrepancies. I don't see any more questions, Kalala. But for most of you who are watching, we did have a video on YouTube discussing polygyny, and it was definitely different this time for some reason. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the questions. The questions are definitely different, and I enjoyed it. For those of you who are either in polygyny or who are trying to practice polygyny, take your time. Um, take your time.
Yeah, don't fools rush in. Fools rush in. Just
Yeah,
remember that.
because women, we are emotional creatures, and it's a lot for women to deal with sharing a man.
Yeah, my Abba used to say a statement, and he was polygynist for years. Is when it's good, it's twice as good, but when it's bad, it's twice as bad. So all you brothers who just think that it's just about ego, when it's bad, it's twice as bad. Remember that,
Yeah.
because we're dealing with two women, two emotional creatures. So, um,
And please take your time. Take your time. Take your time. I cannot reiterate that and express that because once you get into it and you have a child, there's no turning back. There's no turning back.
in some form or some way, you have to deal with those two people that you have in
Guys are
your
still
life.
married or not, you still have to interact or deal with that person. So take your time. It may be fun in the beginning, but if it's not working with the woman, it's definitely going to be a stress for the man in the interim and the long term. So with that being said, I don't see any more questions coming in. Um,
I'm gonna say closing prayer.
I did enjoy it. I don't know if Roy
I
enjoyed it as
did. The
well.
questions were very intriguing, and although we did a polygynous video before, um, it was a little bit different, like Sarah said, and it was interesting. The questions were totally different. It was last time was a little bit more. From
Non-sabbatical.
it was just more of people who have never seen it. So some of these questions are people who have seen it in a positive light. So it was kind of different, and it was just um, it was laid back and it was cool. I liked it.
Cool. All right. I guess we're done. And if we don't have any more questions, I'd like to say the closing prayer. Is that another question? um, we have children watching as well. One of the children said it would be stress for the kids too. So take your time and be careful because it is. You
Yeah.
bring other children in, you bring family members in, and then if it doesn't work out later on in the years, then that person is snatched out of that person's life. So it is stressful for the kids. Good statement, Yabiel. So I am gonna say the closing prayer. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
O Most High God and King of our forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, we'd like to thank you for a successful show tonight, for giving us the opportunity to express our views and open our lives to the nation of Israel and to others. We thank the Most High God for providing us with the opportunity to do so, for giving us the Holy Shabbat day for rest, because it's definitely needed. We thank you for your love, compassion, and your mercy, and we ask the Most High God that you continue to be with us and to show our light throughout each and through our family of nation Israel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.